And now, the video that no one's been waiting for. Abby spent this many hours watching this many movies that no one wanted to hear her opinion of, but she forced herself to make a top 10 list. Basically, I started doing top 10 movies in 2016, and it was just like not popular, but it's just like so much fun, and I go to the movie theater more than anyone I know. This particular year, I worked so hard to see so many movies, and that's why you're not really getting this until February, because I've been watching 2018 movies all of January, and I literally didn't read any books in January. That's how many movies I was watching. In alphabetical order, every 2018 movie that I saw. Hi Felicia. My top 10 are on 3 categories. Hey, sparks joy. No, literally, I've been watching so much Marie Kondo. These movies have like a sparkle that's just kind of like, oh, and it's kind of like I see myself in them. Number 2 is quality. That quality has to be there. Production value. I'm talking about, would this actually be nominated for any awards or anything? Number 3, it has to have drive. Drive, it means the film was exciting the whole time. This, you know, sometimes it just means like an uplifting montage. Sometimes it means it wasn't too long. The acting was good throughout. I like the movie from beginning to end. Okay, I just looked at my list and there are 11 movies. So like, whoops. Number 11 is The Spy Who Dumped Me. Kate McKinnon, Mila Kunis, and it was so funny. It was really, 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 really good. Number 10 is Sorry to Bother You. I loved it so much. It ended up being really, really, really weird. Sometimes you just need that, and you need someone to just like slap you in the face and be like, this is what I feel, like watch my film and feel the pain with me. And I love those films. It's hilarious, it's unique. This guy plays a telemarketer and he always calls people with the line, sorry to bother you. And then he becomes a power caller and he works his way up through this telemarketing system. And you can't even imagine the kind of things that happen in this movie, but it's so funny, so creative. Personality just like comes off the screen. It's just such a good movie. And I think honestly, it didn't get nominated for like Academy Awards and shit because it was so like fuck the system. Number 9 is The Miseducation of Cameron Post. So this is based on a book. It's about a teenage girl named Cameron, played by Chloe Grace Moretz, and I have to say I'm not always her biggest fan, but this is easily the best performance of her career. She's in conversion therapy in 1993. It's an incredible film. What I really love about it is she's not just like a total rebel. Like she really is like so vulnerable to like what everyone around her thinks, and she just like wants to feel loved, wants to be accepted, and she's like, okay, like I want to change or whatever. You find out like how manipulative the entire program is, and it's so messed up, and there's no science to it, and it's like psychologically damaging, and you really get that from the film. And they make a really good point that like they have no choice to be there because like first of all they're minors and like their parents can like sign all the papers and stuff, but second of all, if they weren't in there, like they would be kicked out of the house, like they would be living on the streets homeless. And it's just an absolutely beautiful film. Number 8 is Crazy Rich Asians. I heard so many good things and I didn't realize that I would love this movie so much. It is so romantic and beautiful, and it's really, really, really funny. Everyone in the movie is so hot. Honestly, what really like gave me that huge sparkle is that the lead actress, her performance was absolutely incredible, and her character is just like, I love her so much. And then the main guy is so handsome, and Awkwafina's in it, and I'm like a really big fan of her now. Number 7 is Teen Titans Go to the Movies. I was a huge fan of the original Teen Titans Go, and then Cartoon Network made a new one based on the art from the comic book Baby Titans, which a lot of people I guess didn't recognize or whatever, but that was a kind of more like funny, like less dramatic comic with the same characters but like different art style. And Baby Titans was like a comic that like I read too, so when I saw like they were making that into like that art style into the new Cartoon Network, like I totally like knew what it was and like understood it, but like everyone was so mad because it's really funny. And well, I guess they don't think it's funny. It's really like silly, but it has all like the same voice actors, and that's all I really care about. I think it's so funny and so self-aware, and they make like jokes about how like nobody likes a reboot and like the original is so much better and like blah blah blah, and it's so funny, and it plays on all of like the jokes of the original one. I have to say, if you don't want to watch Teen Titans Go to the Movies, you should really watch the trailer, because that on its own is so funny, in my opinion. The movie really had some great like Easter eggs for Marvel fans, DC fans, original Teen Titans fans, comic book fans, and there's some great celebrity cameos, including Jimmy Kimmel, Halsey, Nicolas Cage, Stan Lee is in the movie. Like, I laughed my ass off, and it was so funny, and I felt like a little kid. Number 6, If Beale Street Could Talk. Why wasn't this nominated for Best Picture? It was from the creator of Moonlight, based on a book by James Baldwin. This film follows this young couple in love. The guy gets sent to prison for something he didn't do, and the girl, I'm sorry, I literally can't remember the names, and the girl finds out that she's pregnant with his child. It's crazy, and it's kind of like the merging of their families as they try to like problem solve around this whole situation. It's beautiful, and the acting was incredible, and it's just like peak storytelling, and just like why film is so beautiful and amazing. So I really, really enjoyed this film. Number 5 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Let me tell you, I was more annoyed than anyone else that we were getting another Spider-Man film. But this one doesn't follow Peter Parker, this one follows Miles Morales. It kind of combines all of the different Spider-Men and women from different universes, or dimensions as they call it, which is basically just like all the different comic books. I used to be a huge fan, or I guess I still am, of Spider-Gwen. So she's in this movie, which is awesome. John Mulaney plays Spider-Pig, and like, I don't know, there's so many other things going on. And I honestly just was so happy to get like a superhero movie that was just like unique and not like that Marvel formula that I'm sick and tired of, that I know you guys aren't, and like everyone's like blah blah blah, I can't wait for Avengers Endgame, like whatever. It was really, really, really good, and I just want to protect Miles with my whole heart. I love the animation style, and I think that's what everyone keeps saying, and the music was amazing. Like, I love that the film and the animation looked so much like a comic book, and it was like watching a comic book, and that was like, I've never seen that before, and it was really, really cool. I really walked out of it and was like, that was amazing. And I wish Miss Marvel made like an appearance, but whatever, we can keep dreaming. I love Miss Marvel. All right, number 4 is Bohemian Rhapsody. I did not think that this would get so much attention at the Academy Awards, because in my circles, it's really been such like a fan film. It really is like a really beautiful biopic, some really like serious actors in famous film. I literally didn't know anything about Queen, and I didn't know the name Freddie Mercury at all. I didn't even know which songs were Queen songs. I knew We Will Rock You was a Queen song, and I like knew Bohemian Rhapsody was Queen, but like I always didn't understand Bohemian Rhapsody, because I was just always like, what does it mean? Like, why does everyone love it so much? So the movie was really cool because I found out who Freddie Mercury was. I think a lot of people didn't know like where his family's from, and like that he changed his name, and I had no idea how he died. Cinematography is so pretty, and I just love concert scenes. They look honestly so much like the band, in my opinion, and I know that other members of the band had a big role in the film, and like executive producers, and they were making final decisions on it, which is super cool, like Brian May, and I don't know any of the other names. I ended up seeing it a second time because I really liked it, and I think it's really cool. There's like a whole Queen fandom of like young people, at least to my knowledge wasn't there before, and is on like Stan Twitter and stuff. Every piece of it, like costumes, music, acting, lighting, art department, like every single thing was so strong in the film. You just got this great production. I mean, I have mad respect for that film and Rami Malek and all the Queen stans and the Bohemian Rhapsody stans. Number 3 is Blindspotting. It was kind of on my list because I recognized Daveed Diggs from Hamilton. He played Lafayette in the original cast. I ended up seeing it because Barack Obama made a favorite movies of 2018. So Blindspotting was on his list, and I was like, okay, I have to see it. His character grew up in California, and his best friend is Miles, and Miles is a white guy, and they've been best friends since they were little kids. And so you kind of see the entire film split into 2 parts. into like the white man's experience and the black man's experience. A lot of the film was about gentrification in Oakland, California. It was just something that was so familiar to where I live. I think it was incredible, and like the writing was amazing, and the filmmaking took, I have to say, I could like see the risks that they took, and it like felt like a first film. Oh, and there's a lot of rapping in the film, which I kind of like when it was made to look like freestyle and stuff. It just kind of goes in and out where they're just like the characters are rapping and then like they're not for like 25 minutes and then they like are again for the finale. And it can be like really dark and stuff sometimes, but like it's so funny, and like these characters are great. I don't think it gets enough credit for being such like a fun loving environment and just showing like their culture and energy from where these characters grew up. Hey, I lost some footage. I'm so sorry. But really quick, number 2 is Ocean's 8. I've never seen one of these like heist movies, but I loved it. I love a female cast. I always connect to them more, and I love seeing all these great characters played by like Mindy Kaling, Awkwafina, Sandra Bullock, Anne Hathaway, and Rihanna was in it, and it was just like so funny and so exciting, and it was just like pure fun. Mindy being like, oh my god, it's Taylor Swift, like iconic. I loved Ocean's 8 so much. I feel like after it came out, like everyone forgot about it and no one really cared anymore. But I thought it's really good, and I'd love to watch it like 10 more times. If you haven't seen Ocean's 8, you have to see it. All right, number 1, I'm gonna go back into what I filmed previously, I promise, but I have to introduce this movie. Number 1 is Won't You Be My Neighbor? It's a documentary about Mr. Rogers from his PBS show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I recognize his voice and I've seen this show, but like I didn't really remember it and I didn't really have a personal connection to it. So seeing the documentary, it was amazing. And just like him like putting on a sweater, like iconic. I didn't know this, but he was like an ordained minister and he was like a pretty religious man. But like what's really cool is like he never made his show religious. He always made it just for everyone. It was just about being a good neighbor. It's just so heartfelt. So I started crying really hard when they were talking about the puppet Daniel, and I'm gonna get into that, so I'm gonna cut back. Sorry about this. I swear this is the last time I'm losing footage, 2K19. So I started crying when they were talking about the puppet Daniel, and I felt like I was Daniel, and I feel like I related to him, and I think everybody does, and it was just so beautiful. Just hearing Mr. Rogers talk about like how children feel and like what it's like, and like him just always like being so grounded and knowing how to relate to people on his show was absolutely amazing. And they kept saying that his show was like radical, and I didn't know any of this stuff, but like some of the adult themes that they put into the show, like race, divorce, death, assassination, like current events topics would go into the show and be like presented for children. Yeah, but I can't recommend this movie enough. It was really sad that it wasn't nominated for Best Documentary for the Academy Awards, because it came from like a really established documentarian who did 20 Feet from Stardom. I swear that's been like critically acclaimed, if not won Oscars. It really was all in the ballpark for this film, and it just didn't happen, which sucked. Tell me if there's something I talked about that made you want to watch it. Let me know your favorite movies of the year. I have so many questions. How many movies did you guys see that came out in 2018? I'm so curious which ones were your favorite. Like, did you love Black Panther? Like, I loved Black Panther. Like, who do you think is gonna win Best Picture, the Oscars? Oh, I wanted to put Aquaman in there so bad. I love DC films, and Aquaman had that sparkle and it had that drive. It did not have that quality. Anyways, my roommate just got home and this is like almost over, so thank you so much for watching. I love you. Bye.